Run it back, Nation. What is good? Sixers sickos. What is good? Yeah. We took a little break from Sixers content. We took a little break from watching Sixers games. And the Sixers play the Utah Jazz tonight. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if tonight is the day that I come back because I've been enjoying this little break from watching Sixers games. I didn't watch a single second of the Sixers-Celtics game the other night. And I didn't watch any highlights. I didn't look at the stats. I didn't do anything. I got this team completely out of my life for a couple of days. And it was amazing. And you should do the same thing if you haven't already. Most of you already have. But let's talk about there is a team that is ruining the 76ers' chances of keeping their first-round pick. We're going to talk about what team that is and what exactly is going on and what needs to happen and continue to happen for that to not, for us to not lose our first round pick. Why can't I think right now? And then we're going to talk about the ongoing rise and fall of Ricky Council. But first, this is brought to you by our friends at BetUS, and I want to let you know you can get a 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit and 125% on your next two on BetUS by using promo code YouTube150 right here under NBA specials. A couple of days after Nikola Jokic had a 30, 20, and 20 game, there is a special wager. Will there be any other 30, 20, 20 games in the 2024-25 NBA season, including playoffs? And I'm going to say yes to that because, and I'm not downplaying this at all. I think Nikola Jokic is once again having an incredible season, a historic season, and watching him play at his just build and fitness level, it's really incredible. It really is. What he does while appearing to struggle to run down the floor is it's incredible. And I think he could have another 30, 20, 20 game because it didn't really look that difficult. Now, I want to say this. The assist recording in the NBA right now is a little questionable. It seems like Nikola Jokic can hand the ball off to Christian Brown and he can take 17 dribbles and hit a step back jumper and it's an assist. So there's that. But yes, I think there could be another 30, 20, 20 game. That's a plus 2,500 on BetUS. Get a 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit, 125% on your next two by using promo code YouTube150. Let's get into the content. There is a team that is possibly in the way of the 76ers keeping their first round pick. And that team, ladies and gentlemen, is the Toronto Raptors. Because the Brooklyn Nets here have lost 7 in a row. It doesn't seem like the Brooklyn Nets are going anywhere. They're probably going to end up continuing to climb this ladder. The Toronto Raptors actually started playing good, over the past couple of games. They won on a buzzer beater a couple of nights ago that helped us out greatly at the time and had us tied with the Brooklyn Nets and only a half game behind the Toronto Raptors. Last night, they almost won again with another buzzer beater, but it was called off after official review and did not count, so they lost last night and are now an entire game ahead of the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't think the Sixers are going to catch the New Orleans Pelicans, the Charlotte Hornets, the Utah Jazz, or the Washington Wizards there. I don't think they're going to catch Brooklyn because I think Brooklyn's going to keep losing. I think Philly can end up in the 6th spot. They could catch Brooklyn if we have a lose-off, but I feel like the Sixers are going to end up winning. Well, Brooklyn just beat us a couple nights ago. Maybe they could catch Brooklyn. But either way, I think the Toronto Raptors are the team here that could win more games than Brooklyn and Philadelphia and have Sixers land at number 6. So it is the Toronto Raptors that we need to keep rooting for to win. And the Toronto Raptors' remaining schedule is the Washington Wizards on Monday, the Philadelphia 76ers on Wednesday. We could end up, if the Sixers lose tonight against the Jazz, which, it's a stretch. because the Jazz are terrible and the Jazz are shamelessly tanking, much like the Sixers are. But if the Sixers do end up losing to the Jazz tonight and the Toronto Raptors try to get revenge on the Washington Wizards from last night, as you could see, a Washington Wizards Saturday, Monday, back to back to back, they would be tied then going into Philadelphia. No, going into Toronto. They would be tied going into Toronto, and it would be an epic tank off on Wednesday. So there's it. Then they got Utah, Portland, Phoenix, Golden State, San Antonio, Washington, Brooklyn, Charlotte. It's actually a pretty damn easy schedule for the Toronto Raptors the rest of the season. I don't see many. Wow, I see a bunch of bad teams. Even the Phoenix Suns are bad. Golden State Warriors, obviously, they're trying to get something out of the end of Steph Curry's career, and so they're, I don't know if I'm calling them a championship contender, but that's one of the best teams in the rest of their season. They have such an easy schedule for the rest of the season. The Toronto Raptors should be the team that wins too many games and falls out of the fifth spot there into the, what did I say? Fifth spot, sixth spot. They're in the fifth spot. The Sixers could end up in that fifth spot. And I think that's as high as the 76ers are going to get. And in the fifth spot, they would have a 42% chance at a top 4 pick and a 10.5% chance at a number 1 overall pick. So it is the Toronto Raptors who we need to keep winning. And they have a pretty damn easy schedule to do so. And so hopefully they continue to do that. But this Wednesday game against the Sixers is going to be an epic tank off. The remaining Sixers schedule, let's see if we can continue to lose. The good thing about the 76ers is that they're just flat out terrible, and they can continue to lose to basically everybody. They struggle to beat any team in the league, and I would like to say that it's because they're shamelessly tanking, but they're not really. They're still putting Paul George out there. They're still putting guys out there. Nick Nurse is still pulling his hair out. It seems like he's trying to win. They're just horrible, and Nick Nurse ended up being, one of the worst coaches I've ever seen coach in my entire life. Utah, Atlanta, Toronto, Indiana, Dallas, Houston, OKC, San Antonio, Atlanta, New Orleans, Washington, Miami, Toronto again. You got the Knicks, the Bucks, the Timberwolves, Miami. Yeah, I think the Sixers lose enough games there, and the Toronto Raptors win enough games there for the Sixers to climb into at least the 6th spot, and we'll see what Brooklyn does, and maybe the Sixers end up in the 5th spot. But there's the update on that. Now, before I get out of here, let's talk about Ricky Council. Ricky Council was sent down to the G League, and it's just such a polarizing topic because last season, the Sixers signed Ricky Council to a full NBA contract, a 3-year NBA contract, because he looked like he was contributing so well in a limited role off the bench and just bringing that physicality and athleticism and energy to the team that we were going to use him in the playoffs. And then Nick Nurse didn't play him a single minute in the playoffs, which is crazy when you think about Daryl Morey signed him to play him in the playoffs, and Nick Nurse didn't play him at all. And now this season, he's, gone on a complete downward spiral as far as just his development on the court and what he looks like out there. And I don't know what I'm going to point to really with Ricky Council. I love his athleticism. I love his energy. His jump shot is just one of the most inconsistent things in the history of the game. It's unbelievable the way that he shoots the ball with 2 hands. I don't understand it. Sometimes he can hit a 47-foot 3-pointer. Sometimes he can airball a 3 by 7 feet. It's just wild. It's one of the 8th wonder of the world actually is Ricky Council's jump shot. But I think his athleticism and his physicality and his energy is so elite, it really is, that he can have a role in the NBA. I think that with more playing time on a bad team, Ricky Council could develop into a Kelly Oubre level player. I don't see why Ricky Council can't be a Kelly Oubre level player, because Kelly Oubre is also terrible at basketball, but brings a couple of things on the court at an elite level: physicality, athleticism, end to end, finishing at the rim, and things like that, and cool hair, and just straight up swag and BMX tricks in the middle of the street, getting hit by cars and things. Kelly Oubre, I think Ricky Council can be a Kelly Oubre in the NBA. So, he needs an opportunity on another team. Nick Nurse is a flat-out terrible development coach. It's been that way since Toronto. He's not good. He doesn't try to develop players. He's not interested in developing players. He is Doc Rivers 2.0. He is Doc Rivers white. He is Doc Rivers light. He is, it's wild that he's kind of the same guy as Doc Rivers. I'm here to win a championship. Give me players that are experienced and ready to win a championship, and we're going to win a championship. And then you're like, well, actually, you're doing the complete opposite of that. Your team is horrendous because your philosophies are bad, and you really have no idea what you're doing. You seem like you're completely lost. But anyway, there's my total opinion on Ricky Council. I think he can be a Kelly Oubre level player in the NBA. He just needs an opportunity to iron some things out, and he's not going to get these flat. He's just not going to get that under Nick Nurse, and we all know that, and he knows that too. And he goes down to the G League and immediately has a 40-point game. So he's in limbo. He's clearly too good for the G League and just not, the Nick Nurse system is not it for Ricky Council. And I hope he gets an opportunity somewhere else. I think he will get an opportunity somewhere else. Maybe they could trade him. Maybe they trade him this offseason because maybe he has some value, There's Ricky Council's quote after the 40-point game. It just felt good to find my love for the game. I mean, it's tough up there in the NBA sometimes, playing and not playing. You get thrown in, things don't go right, and you're out again. Is that a little bit of a jab to Nick Nurse, or is that just him understanding the situation that he's in and his limited, opportunity on a? It's funny because you end up with limited opportunities on a contending team. That's the funny part, is that Nick Nurse is still running this team like it's a contending team, and it's not. I said Ricky Council needs to go to a bad team where he can get playing time. The Sixers are a bad team where he should get playing time. But I think I just wanted to say it's a phenomenon, this Ricky Council thing, man. I don't think I've ever seen a player more inconsistent as far as just, damn, he looks elite. He looks like an amazing role player. And then it's like, damn, he looks like the worst player I've ever seen play basketball before. It's night and day. It's one or the other. It's interesting. But hopefully he gets an opportunity somewhere else. Before I get out of here, I do want to laugh at the Sixers and this getting booed at the WNBA, not the WNBA, the WWE. They got booed at a WWE event. Most of you have probably seen this, but if you haven't, here's what happened. For some reason, the WWE was in the Wells Fargo Center, and for some reason, somebody thought it would be a good idea to promote the Sixers playing the Utah Jazz on Sunday, right now. And they thought it'd be a good idea to have Paul George down there ringside holding a 76ers belt in a city that is pissed off at this team and hates Paul George for being an absolute bum because they thought he was going to be good and they thought he was going to help them contend for a championship. I just can't believe they went through with this. Here's what happened. And then the announcer tries to call it back. You can get a mixed reaction when you have certain struggle. I just think that's hilarious. Basically, what happened was they had that planned all the way back when the WWE event was planned, probably way before the NBA season even started. And they were like, let's have, Paul George hold the belt down there. And, you'll have Paul George holding the 76ers belt. And the fans will love it. What happened was not that, and they should have canceled the damn promo. I just don't understand how they still had these guys go out there and do that promo. I guess they already signed it in the offseason. They probably already paid Paul George and Yabusele was there, and Adem Bona was there, Justin Edwards was there. They already paid him to do it. They already signed the contract. It's funny. That's funny to me. Paul George woke up that day like, fuck, dude. This city hates me. I got to go do a promo event that I signed up for in the middle of the summer, not knowing everybody in the building was going to hate me. And now I got to hold the 76ers belt. We're 20-5,000. They hate us. That is just so Philadelphia 76ers. It's unbelievable. If I was Paul George, I probably would have been like, listen, man, just you take the whatever they paid him, $50,000, take the money back. I don't want to do it. I guess I commend him for still doing it, but that is just so Sixers to promote the team as they are they are maybe the biggest disappointment in the NBA this season, but this might actually be the most disappointing season in the history of this team. And they go and they promote them in front of a Philly crowd. Just unbelievable incompetence. There's nothing else you can really say about this organization besides unbelievable incompetence. That's all I got today, guys. I don't know if I'm going to watch the Sixers Jazz tonight. I do want them to win. I thought I could watch the games and root for them to lose. I mean, I do want them to lose. I'm sorry. I thought I could watch these games and root for them to lose, but when I watch it and root for them to lose, it takes so much out of me pride-wise and dignity-wise that I'm having trouble doing it. But thank you guys for tuning into the video, and I will talk to you all soon. I love you, Sicko Nation. You're the best. Peace.